Make the observation here that when you have a manufactured crisis and you run, as Bashir did, you run all the aid groups out, and then you let a handful or 5 of them back in with a set of new conditions, as the group Enough say, what to do about Sudan now. They say clearly they don't have access to large areas of Darfur anymore, and those that do have access to vulnerable populations no longer publicize their assessments for fear of expulsion. So I just want to get that into the record in terms of the other side of this argument. I wanted to make the point and come back to the fact that the Lord's Resistance Army is on the run. We have a commander who recently surrendered. In interviews, he's noted that Joseph Kony has the intention to move his forces into Darfur to link up with the Sudan armed forces. He wants those armed forces to give him logistical support. In the past they have. I remember when they were patching up his soldiers in hospitals and sending them south and giving munitions to them. So the Islamist government in Sudan is really the last lifeline, as it's been the lifeline for years, but it's now the last lifeline for Kony. Let's cut this off and end Kony's terror across Africa. I just ask you, how involved today is the Sudanese government, and how do you intend to bring pressure to get that lifeline cut off?
First of all, I'd say that in terms of the NGOs moving around Darfur, I meet with them all the time. I just met with them last week in Janina and Fasher. And it's really a security issue as opposed to a restriction issue. And if we could fix the security issue, which we're working on right now, very hard to do at the local level with the Banditry, with the Janjaweed Autonomous, with the armed militia groups, if we can get these things fixed, that will solve a lot of the NGO problems. In terms of the LRA, we agree with you. There's no reason that Joseph Kony should be allowed to be wandering around and be alive and continuing the Lord's resistance. It's abhorrent. The number, I used to live in that area between Aba and Adi Faraj, and the number of people that are being raped, houses being burned down, and that kind of thing is unbelievable. And the fact that it is not an absolutely international outrage is disgusting to me. That said, I've been working with the Sudanese government in Khartoum, and I think that they would agree with you that Joseph Kony has to stop. We cannot find links. And it's been reported to me, and if you have the links that we can go in, I cannot find any links right now of the Sudanese government to Joseph Kony. And if we can find them, obviously those will be things that we will put pressures in, but there's nothing that we can find right now.
I'll just point out that his commander who surrenders says, well, they were backing us. In the past, they were backing them. So I don't know about the moment, but he's telling his troops, if you get out of the encirclement, this is who you surrender to. This is who will work with you. I just bring it up. Yep. I'm the ranking member of the Terrorism, Nonproliferation, and Trade Subcommittee. We had a hearing 2 weeks ago in which one witness testified, and I'm going to use his words here, quote, "The jihadists' aim is to thwart the international community in Darfur and reignite a holy war in southern Sudan." I would ask if you share any concerns about the reputed ambitions of Khartoum. From my standpoint, I remember pretty vividly Khartoum's backing some years ago of Osama bin Laden. So I don't give the benefit of the doubt to Bashir. So give me your assessment, Major, General, if you would, on that.
Yes, obviously we have our eyes wide open. We're looking for any indications that would lead us to believe that that's happening. Right now, though, our mandate is to save lives, to implement the CPA, to ensure that the conflict stops in Darfur, and that we reset the picture on the CT front. We are trying to do that, and if we have indications that there's a jihadist movement that is disrupting the South, obviously we're going to apply a lot of pressure and speak out very forcefully against this. This cannot be tolerated, and we won't.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you,
Thank you very much. Our ranking member wanted